Absolutely, many thanks for staying with us and welcome back. Good morning. My good name is Ban Sankwa. Now, in this segment right about now, we are delving into current affairs, touching on the matters youth, and that includes as well conversations that touch on the economy, employment, unemployment, and politics at large. Of late, there's been an upsurge of youthful voices being or wanting to be a part of decisions, policy making that rotate and touch on matters at leadership. What is the right way to ensure that the youth are included fully and also participate when it comes to ensuring that they assume leadership offices or leadership positions, and also they carry along others as well? We saw people like Councilor Makori, Morara Kebaso, who actually were very vehement and passionate about advocating for the rights and the voices of the Gen Zs in this country. What happened to the youth? Are they fading off? And when it comes to 2027, where do the youth stand? That and much more is what we're going to delve into. And plus, if you're back at home and you're watching this conversation, I'll definitely like to hear your reactions as we continue to banter right here. And joining me live on set, I'll be speaking to Boniface Omodede. He's a chairperson at UNGA. He's also an aspiring member of parliament at Karachuonyo constituency, alongside Steve Giro. He's the founder Waziri Organization and Secretary General at UNGA, still the same organization as well. Great to have you, gentlemen. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, maybe just a brief history of what UNGA stands for and what it means and what it's currently doing for the youth. Maybe you can go, Boniface.
UNGA is an organization, it's a new organization in the city actually. The United New Generation Alliance. Here we are shaping the future of the youths to ensure that the youths form part of leadership. We are shaping the youths that we ensure that in the near future or today, because we are the leaders of today, not tomorrow, we ensure that we as youths are included in governance and policy making, either directly or indirectly. But mostly we want to be involved and engaged in the governance.
Right, absolutely. When he's speaking of governance, and I feel like let it be the start of our conversation, why are some of the youth that previously were very vocal about, advocating for sports or places and being part of these youthful voices that were on the front line during the Gen Z protest, why are we seeing a very huge disconnect between the leadership, the higher up, and the youth? It looks like the passion is dying. What is happening with the Gen Zs on ground and the youth at large? Steve?
Thank you so much. My name is Steve Giro, founder of Waziri Organization and Secretary General of United New Generation Aspirants. It's my pleasure to be here today. So, right now, youths look, right now, as we are speaking, youths are so divisive. There's a very big drift in terms of youth being united. What do I mean? It's because some of the organizations or some of the youths, when joining, or when, most of the youths, they're being used, like we saw last time when Morara Kebaso was so vocal and vibrant. He had to show us that he had the direction. Okay, most of us, we were like, Morara will make us a rich cannon. But at the end of the day, he was just playing tricks and cards with us. So many youths are they don't believe in others, or they don't believe in themselves. So that's why, as we are speaking right now, so many young people wametupa focus kwa maisha. And by saying so, we mean that come to 2027, youths are going to separate into different parts. Yeah.
When you look at what's happening with, let's say, the political parties right now, how many would you say the youth are finding suitable to align themselves? Because I believe political representation is very important when it comes to you being a leader, but also standing as a standalone and being an independent, and what you guys are doing with UNGA. is really profoundly powerful as well. So would you say most youth who are vocal and also those who are not would like to maybe align themselves with, I'd say, if you use the word vibrant, but let's maybe use an established political party that could act as a vehicle that would give them political gravitas to continue advocating for the youth in terms of representation?
You see, I've been engaging myself with so many youth affairs or programs that relate with young people. It's only one movement that I've come across that has got a vision, and that is NGA, New Generation Aspirant, and I think they are on the process of making it become a political party.
Yeah.
I feel like most of us young people, we are not ready to be part and parcel of any youthful movement. And that's why, as we are speaking right now, I will really encourage that come to 2027, or as we are speaking right now, we need to, like if you remember 2024, so many of us, we went to the street saying that, oh, we are leaderless, we are partyless, we don't,
faceless,
yeah, we are
tribeless.
faceless. But right now, let me tell you, we cannot, if you want to go somewhere,
yeah,
tuseme like for example unataka kutoka mtaa yako kuje town, lazima upande gari.
Yeah.
Right now we need to have an umbrella, we need to have a party, we need to have a space, we need to have a, yeah, we need to be in a moving party. There's so many parties,
yeah,
right? But those parties, if you go there, youths are not given space.
Yeah.
Yeah, youths are not being included.
Yeah.
So that's why our able chair had to come, or we had to come with UNGA, whereby we need each and every one of us be part of.
Right. Let me get to you, Boniface. Where he's spoken about the not being welcome and included. What can the youth do so that they become part of the decision-making groups, the policy-making groups? And also, if, like he's pointed out, they're not being welcome, then why aren't these established leadership, say, figures, not welcoming the youth to be a part of, the conversations? And yet, I believe that has been one of the reasons that triggered people to go on the streets, because they feel that, the higher ups, or those who are already up there, they're making choices and decisions and just feeding it on you, but include us, which is a very important part of public participation. So what can the youth do so that they can be included? And also, what is making these established political figures not include the youth? You can start with what can they do so that they get included and become part of the conversation and decision makers.
Once again, my name is Boniface. Permit me to do that again. I'm the current chair of the UNGA, the United New Generation Alliance. And let me take you back a bit to what happened in June of last year, 25th of June, 2024.
Yeah.
The youths came out in the largest number, and they were advocating for change, in that they saw an inadequacy in governance. And youth rioted, and some changes, of course, happened. And there was these statements, like, we are leaderless, we are partyless, we are faceless, such things, you see. And they were not making us youth relevant to the system, because it's like we were ghosts.
Yeah.
You're dealing with something you're not seeing. And so afterwards, many movements, many organizations have come on board. And of course, Gen Z movement is now missing in the surface.
Right. What is killing the Gen Z movement, though?
What is killing the Gen Z is because when they came out, when we, the youths, came out to be tribeless, they are partyless, faceless. There are individuals who hijacked these youths and pulled out conspicuous figures.
Right.
And they bought them, I don't know at what cost. Then afterwards, people recoiled into their tribal cocoons.
Yeah.
And right now, you hear people, we are rallying behind maybe this party. We are rallying again behind this party. So youths are segregated. And you know, once you are divided, you become weak.
Become easy actually to manipulate. And
so
you know.
manipulating you is very easy.
Right.
So very many youths have taken their courses. There is
So the Gen Z movement died. If you were to answer that question, would you say the Kenyan Gen Z movement or revolution died? Because it was very impactful, because when you look at even what's happening in Tanzania, they're actually borrowing inspiration from
Kenya.
Yeah, and some other countries, including Uganda, even in Nigeria. Like the first, if you were to see the commentaries of those political commentators and even influencers who talk about Kenya and how the Gen Z revolution impacted the world, they literally borrowed from us, but
Absolutely.
yet the movement is now resting in peace.
Oh yes, and it's very sad because we had a big vision, and my friend Makure, he came out to be a significant figure in this movement, and later on people like Morara Kebaso, they also showed us some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we can no longer see them anywhere.
But
everybody
took
his course.
in ODM
But
anyways.
Makure is in ODM, and in as much as he's in ODM, his connection to the people on the ground is already it's almost getting over, because it's more or less of the party than the people.
Right.
And I think the best way he could have done that is by engaging in the party. Of course, I've been in ODM. ODM is my party ever since.
Okay.
So Makure getting into ODM, I don't have problem with that. We're in a democratic nation, and you must always have a party.
Yeah, Baba.
Baba. May his soul rest in peace. So, division among the youths. And another factor is that most of the youths, they want to be relevant to the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing or a bad thing, because being an independent as well will require you to put up a lot of machinery to fight the already existing political forces.
Of course. But they intend to do that with self-ambition. You know, in as much as these movements are there, most of them claim to be non-political, but at the end of the day, this is socio-political thing.
Yeah.
What we are doing is we are reconstructing our systems, because most of this, like ODM, it began as a movement and later became a party.
Yeah.
In the same way, the UNGA can be a movement today and tomorrow is a party.
Right.
So we are in either one or two ways linked to these parties. And at the end of the day, like I'm an aspirant. I will, of course, have to get a party to cling on.
Yeah, but then you'll be contesting.
Yes, I'll be contesting in Karachuani constituency.
Okay.
2027. So we will, at the end of the day, have a party.
Right.
But before that, we know that most of the big people in these parties, they intend to use the youths. That's a fact.
When you say intend to use them, does it touch on being given some stipends and handouts and you go
Of course,
silent?
we have just witnessed the concluded by elections.
Yeah.
And we were witnessing a lot of goonism back at our neighbors there at Kasipul constituency. Yeah. And also in Mbere North.
Yeah, Mbere North.
Mbere North.
As well as Malava.
Yeah, Malava also. And we were witnessing the aspect of goonism in politics. Yeah. And the goons are the youths. Goons are not old men. It is the youths who are goons. So, of course, if I have to hire you to go and cause mayhem and chaos in my opponent's rally, I'll have to give you something small. Yeah. And when I give you something small, meaning I have bought your integrity as an active citizen of the Republic of Kenya. So you don't stand with the principles of the youths that we were chanting, we are partyless, leaderless, because of course a party has bought you, and you are already causing mayhem. And in fact, that's one of the reasons we changed the Gen Z Taifa Talk to United New Generation Alliance, because Gen Zs were already associated with what? chaos and mayhem. And we wanted to dissociate ourselves with what? With such chaos. Because the moment you walk into a showroom like this, and you tell them that we are Gen Zs, what are they seeing? Or what are the citizens seeing? They're seeing people who are leaderless, people who are faceless, partyless, people who can cause mayhem or riot or demonstration at any given point.
Why should they be looked at like that when they're just young people who are passionate and advocate about, you know, ending systematic oppression that they believe for a very long time has prevented them from succeeding? Because I think in this setup as well, we've spoken to hundreds of people like you who are passionate, those who are contesting, those who've contested, those who fell on their faces, those who are growing wings. Everyone is passionate about changing the system. But also, why should you be looked at as a wicked person and yet you're just young and ambitious and you want to be there the same way these other people are there?
Well, when you look at the Gen Z movement keenly, when during the 25th of June of last year and the 25th of June of this year and the Sabasaba, hooliganism and goonism encroached the movement, and it painted the movement black. We witnessed goons walking on the streets with clubs and crude weapons. And this one darkened the entire movement. So the society is viewing the Gen Zs as people who, number one, they've gone to school. That is a positive part of it. Actually, Gen Zs are educated enough. They are enlightened. And the darkest part is what they pick from the incidences of hooliganism and the goonism. So the society sees us like this team of people. They can only cause mayhem, destruction, and vandalization. Not realizing that it was only a part of people who we don't know whether they were hired or they were individuals who have decided to do that. But of course, we had them chanting something Sabasaba, with the name of the governor of the city. They were appreciating him of cleansing the city. So we don't know which way they were cleansing the city, making us to have other thoughts that then it was like this.
So you'd say they're hired by politicians?
Of course.
Okay.
Because I remember when we were going to the Maandamano of 2024, we had no agenda of saying that you need now one term, you know. One term came back, or came later, after someone was overthrown from the government. And that's where we had the biggest we've had one of the biggest challenge. You see, one term was not part of the movement that we were having, you know, in 2024. But now the one-term slogan, it has been now driven into our minds. Like right now, anything that the government does, young people hawataki kuona uzuri, you know, uzuri of or something useful that the government has done. So for me, I really feel like we have a long way to go again. Because at the end of the day, most of us, you saw last couple of days ago, the president said that young people need to have families.
If you're 25 and above,
if you're 25 and above,
get married.
And that came so shockingly because most of young people, saizi unaambia mtu aoe, ako zile za mimi nioe, sina job, you know. But I think that mentality, people need to switch off from that, because what if, kwa mfano, your wife ama your girlfriend or someone mwenye unaoa sasa ndio labda akona ufungu wako wa kimaisha. So for me personally, I think we need to change our mentality, you know. We need to change our mentality like that. Lazima upate job.
Okay.
To add on what Mr. Steve has just said, in the issue of one term, For us, we do not care whether it is half term, 1 term, or 2 terms, or rather, let me say for me, because even a repentant thief can make the best watchman. And I hope you understand what I mean. Most of our politicians right now are being told 1 term, half term, blah, blah, what, you see? And not all of them are doing bad, actually. Some politicians are doing good.
Yeah.
My friend Ndindi Nyoro, actually, I'm sorry to mention that we are not political in any way, or we are not associating ourselves with any political figure. But I just have to give credit where it deserves. That guy is serving his constituents well as my friend Babu Owino. He's also serving us well there in Embakasi East. I can compliment on that. But there are some leaders who were elected, but ever since they were elected, that is how they demolished the bridge between them and the citizens.
Yeah.
And the one-term movement that is spearheaded by Rigathi Gachagua and his team, I at one particular point discouraged the youths to go that way because most of the youths, they are lacking relevance because he will come to you with 1 term, but if you ask him that what is the reason behind you having the ideology of 1 term, or what is your agenda on the ground?
Yeah.
Most of them will be like, this government is not serving us right, this government is not working with the youths. Of course, at some particular point, we have to hit the government also. When there is wrong, we have to criticize that.
Yeah.
There is this issue of Rironi Mau Summit road construction.
Yeah.
And I can feel that majority of people from Mount Kenya are objecting that. And that one gives me a question like, if it would have been the Thika superhighway being constructed, would they have objected it in that manner? That is a positive a part of the government projects, because we've been experiencing a very heavy traffic when traveling towards my place down there.
Yeah.
At some particular point, you even spend a night on the road.
Right.
But that is a good move. If we can now move freely, that is something we can we can appreciate the government.
Yeah.
So the 1-term agenda, it doesn't score in our camp.
All right.
And the 2-term agenda, the same way, doesn't score in our what?
Okay. React on it as you close up on that.
Yeah, and you see, I run an organization called Waziri Organization. That organization, one, advocates for responsible gambling. Yeah, and so many young people are more of into gambling. Like the only hope they have is that they want to sleep and dream of becoming millionaires. And there is no way, ama kuna njia yenye unaweza niambia, unaweza amuka leo ati unaweza lala jana kama hauna kitu kwa mfuko ama kwa M-Pesa, then you wake up in the morning, you are a millionaire. You see? So I really feel like young people, ama my fellow vijanas, we need to think of the best way. You know, we've gone to school, you know, it's not about kucheza na jackpot, wekelea hii utapata hii, you know. That's how the organization was born. And so far so good. For the last 1 year, I've traveled to almost 4 counties in Kenya. I was in Nakuru, I was in Mombasa 2 months ago, and experienced like so many young people they're trying to hide from the truth. Like vijana, they have what we call depression. Depression is what is leading them into gambling, into drug abuse, you know. And I really feel like at the end of the day, unapata mtu is spending like the entire the whole day akigamble ama akiwa mtaani pale akiwa so idle, then at the end of the day unapata jioni ana kitu ya kwenda kufanya nini, kukula, hajalipa nyumba. So right. It reaches a level whereby that young person, he has to mug, he has to steal, he has to, ani lazima akuibie, you know, ndio akule, because he has spent his day, the entire day, doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you've brought in the issue of the Rironi road construction, and it just looks like the politics of this country cannot function without including the tribal cup or the tribal brand. So when shall we end tribal politics? There's somebody who said the Gen Z movement is dead because they've retreated to their tribal cocoons, and that's why you've mentioned one term and two term. And then it looks like as well it's a Mount Kenya versus the Western and Luo Nyanza politics. So how can we separate tribal politics from our politics in our country and just have youth freely contesting? Like, you guys are an independent movement. You can, nobody cares if you're Luyas or Luos or you come from the United States of America, you're just Kenyans. Why is it that we always have to, you know, go back to our tribal cocoons and then dress in our tribal filters, and then when we come to contest, the Mutuetu politics has to play in again, and we end up picking people that we didn't want in the first place, and then here we are crying foul.
Right. Like recently, we had a by-election in Nyamaya Ward, in West Mogrango, where I come from. You see, unless we as young people, or unless we as a nation, we thrive in ama tutupilie kitu netu ati the kingpin. These people are the one when you're on a sideline. You see, in Nyamira right now, if you take their UDA, you know, it's like selling a pork in a mosque. What watakusikia? People are against the government completely. You cannot tell them anything about Ruto. Otherwise, they cannot buy that idea. Why? Because of Matiang'i factor. If you go to Western, you know, it's even lucky, it's so lucky that Malava seat was won by UDA. You know, like these politicians, they want to encroach us. They want to put us in a level whereby that if, okay, for example, if I'm planning to vie as an MP of West Mogrango in 2027. That means I cannot go there with UTA. I cannot go there with DCP or with DAPK, you know. So these politicians are the one who want to, when you wanachangia sana mambo ya tribalism. So unless if we put them out of the equation, like tutoe mambo ya hawa wanasiasa, tutoe mambo ya these kingpins, the one that wanajaribu kufanya community ati bila wao hatuwezi kuwa na maendeleo, you see. Then
wasn't Baba not a Luo kingpin?
So sorry?
Wasn't Baba not a Luo kingpin?
Of course he was.
Of course he was, yeah. I can take that. Same too. You see, like the way Baba says, yeah, they let.
Actually, in each and every tribe, there is a big cock who, when he cross, others follow. And let me add on his sentiments that there is no one who dealing with is as difficult as an empowered but disempowered person. What do I mean? Kibaki, the late President Mwai Kibaki, did a very wonderful job by ensuring that a better percentage of Kenyans who are now the youths, the Gen Zs, the millennials, are educated. He ensured that they acquired maximum level of education. However, in the recent times, you know, they are empowered, but they were, you know, politicians, they give promises. Even I myself will give promises.
Yeah.
Yes. And so when they were promised job opportunities, or promised after this, you'll get this, you'll get that. These people were kasoma. But now they are at home with their degrees, some with their masters.
Yeah.
And there is a government where somebody is past retirement age and is still in the office. So they are definitely angry and hungry. So they are having two issues with them. They are hungry and angry. That man is very violent.
That justify one term versus two term. Because you're saying
I'm coming to
this
that.
youth who is angry and hungry,
Yes.
and somebody is saying two terms, but like you're saying, your government, you've just said it, your government has been there, but it has not done anything for me. So that speak for the one-term voice and the two-term voice.
Actually, that is a factor that contributes to the one-term versus two-term voices. Because there are people who are feeling that we are in the government. Because they are maybe employed or either directly or indirectly, they are working with the government. But there's a majority of the youths who are outside there, but they are what? They are jobless. And at the same time, Mr. President is encouraging them to get married. I think that's also a factor that we may be contributing to gender-based violence. Because a home where there is no food, my friend, peace is minimal there. Even the faces are not pleasing where there is no food on the table.
Yeah, okay. I want us to move this conversation. We have like 11 minutes to actually close it up because there's another segment coming up. I want us to talk about on the issue of unemployment. I'll come back to you, Boniface, in a bit. The numbers are really high. When you look at universities churning out graduates every year, in fact, this December is like, it's the epitome of graduations. Where are this youth going to get these jobs that, the same universities actually, installing them professionally? But also when you look at it, most of us saying that we don't want to be employed in government, the youth. You want to start your own businesses, you want to start your, because most Gen Zs are actually vocal rather. They are prominent and active a lot on social media. Others are opting. In fact, recently there was a stat that said most Gen Zs prefer to be influencers on social media and take on digital jobs. But you guys as youth leaders and advocates are saying, you know what, I want to get into office. And when I get into office, and I'd also like to hear sentiments because you'll be contesting. So what will you change that has been done, that has not been done correctly, that will give youth employment compared to what they're currently doing right now? And is the unemployment problem going to be there forever, or at some point we're going to be holding it as a story of the past? Still.
Each and every day tunasemanga watu wanazaliwa ama watoto wanazaliwa, right? So that means the story of unemployment, it will never end unless we be the think tankers. What do I mean? Like we need to be innovators, you see, I was reading a certain article about is it Finland? Like the government has regulated, you see the population there. If you're married, you're being told that at least in your home you need to have 2 children. You see? You will get most of the time. You see, for us unaambiwa tu like it's all about normal, like you having even 8 to 5 children, But pale, if you get an extra 1 kid, now 3, you'll pay the tax for the other child. So for us,
there's a country as well that's paying people to get married and give birth. I don't know if you saw that.
No, really.
There's a country here. They're paying people to get married and to give birth, and you're equitable to a stipend for getting married and giving birth.
Oh, really?
Because the populations are really low. Yeah, it's one of those overseas countries. It's a Schengen country. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of thinking on this. The problem we are having is about population. Nowadays, people are going into university who are graduating. There's so many people. Like the number are increasing each and every day. Now you see, you cannot tell me we have around how many doctors do we produce as a country every day? Every time we have a graduation. I was kind of thinking of this. We have engineers. You'll get that when we need to construct the road that you've said, the Redoni and the Mau Summit Road. We are going now to get engineers all the way from China, whereby we have people, all graduates, all engineers who have graduated in this country. So why can't we use our own people, our own graduates to do this job? You understand? Because at the end of the day, that will be one way of reducing the rates of unemployment. Yeah.
Let me get to you, Boniface. What will you do differently now that everyone who wants to be a politician has to give promises? They have their beautiful manifesto that promises them heaven. But this time around, the Gen Zs are as well, they've been vocal and saying, you know what, don't give us your promises anymore. Those who promised us heaven took us to the abyss. So what will you do differently to solve the unemployment menace now that you'll be contesting for Karachuonyo County?
When I went to school, there's one of my lecturers, I love him so much, Dr. Babu Namwamba. Babu Namwamba, at one particular point, mentioned it that he's making us global citizens. And he's not making us to be objects, but he's making us to be not subjects, but objects. In that, we must be productive at personal level. Yeah. We must be critically and creatively thinking citizens.
Yeah.
So, number one, the politicians and the leaders are also the citizens. Right now, we have JSS teachers who are not confirmed. Most of them are youths, actually. They are still feeding on the pitcher salary. So, the government, let me get on the government, then I come to my own point, what I will do when I ascend there. Let the government give preferential procurement services to our people. Let the government not show us that they don't trust our systems. You can't be importing doctors, importing engineers, importing people to offer services that our citizens can offer. And those who can offer this are the young citizens. We were not educated to be content creators. That is just but a side hustle. You cannot be from a class of engineering, then we get you dancing on TikTok. Okay, it's good, but it should be just but your leisure way of earning. So the government should ensure preferential procurement. Let them employ these people. Our schools are lacking psychologists from the primary to tertiary levels. There are many psychologists who are graduating. Why can't the government form psychology department in schools so that children can be counseled?
Receive mental health aid.
And mental health aid. Because you see, there are a lot of cases of suicide, a lot of things are happening. We get them, you're a media personnel. And also, in terms of hiring workers, I think the government Nyota program is doing good, but they should upgrade. They should upgrade on it, because it's promising us Canaan, but it's still in Egypt.
But there's people who've been given money up to close to 50K to start businesses.
My brother, let me ask you. In today's Kenya, if you take a loan to begin a business, then you're buying depression, whether government loan or private sector loan. Because I'm sure that 50K, it's getting you sometimes when you have nothing in your hand. And I'm starting that maybe half of it or quarter will be into some other destination, not the business.
Yeah, but isn't it better than nothing, receiving nothing from
It's better than nothing.
And how many people have
received that? How many people have received that? And also, remember, I told you that an empowered but disempowered person is very difficult to deal with, because this person can do something constructive.
Yes.
But this thing that this person can do, there are people who are doing it but illegally. There are people who are in offices illegally. They have hit that retirement age, but they are still stuck on those offices, like a take on a dead fox skin, you see. So I think we should also cleanse some of these offices and create room for the new generation.
You not answered your question. What will you do differently when you get to office?
When I get to my office, the youths are computer literate individuals. We have ICT centers lacking in our constituencies. What if you make these people busy in these ICT centers? Industrialization is on high demand in our country.
Mm-hmm.
We import even, last time I was in a restaurant in Kilimani and also one at my local place there. And I identified a common factor that even toothpick is imported from China. And that thing pierced my heart. Just a piece of wood that is chopped is imported from China. We are denying our people priority, even to create employment. I told that my leg taught us about being creative. Kenyan youth are creative. Most of Kenyan youth are creative and innovators, but they lack empowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being told we have to close it up, but maybe why is there a trust deficit between the youth and the established authority? What's making the youth not to trust the current crop of leadership?
They're not given opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if today you walk into any office, well-established office, you'll be told, drop your CV. You'll be told, wait, see, the recruitment will happen in the next coming months. So, if you go there and you don't have anyone who knows you, or anyone who knows, or you know someone who is in that office, trust me,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot even be invited for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I wanted to shed some more light about
Yeah, please do it quickly.
about what our president said.
Yeah.
You see, if right now we are to now go back war, and now time will go. Okay, like most of us tunazeeka, right? You'll get that. What will happen when you are around 40 and you need a child? You get yourself that you want a child and you're 40. You'll get yourself either one, marrying a woman who has kids, or two, you're marrying a woman who is already pregnant, because at the end of the day you're desperate, you want a child. So my advice to young people is that let us take a risk, let us start a family, let us have let us, once you have a family, you won't think as a kama kijana. Right now I'm a father of two. Each and every day when I wake up in the morning, naangalia watoto wangu pale kwa bed, they keep me going. They are the source of my inspiration. They are the reason as to why I have to work extra hard. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Finally, as you close it up, when you look at people like Kasmal Makori who joined ODM, why are they receiving backlash when you're just, it's actually, maybe it was a needful thing for him to do, because also there was a lot of, let's say, there's a lot of fight back from the movement in terms of the authority up there and then the youth. But when people like Morara Kibaso began doing what they were doing, look, they just faded into oblivion. Kasma Makori, he had to deep dive into ODM. In fact, he said for his safety. And then the youth on this other side, in fact, there was a headline. It was a whole newspaper front page, Gen Z betrayers, I remember. And the photos of Kasmal and rest in peace, Baba. Yeah, no, it was Baba, Kasmal and Baba. What makes it that way? I thought joining political associations and alliances was the vehicle to representation, and you'd agree that's actually the right thing to do.
You see what these are more of a bitter truth. You see, Kasamuel was going. Kasamuel alikuwa na zemo manzi, that was the best decision that he could have made by that time. And you see, most of us, we usually see these politicians as our enemies. Apana, we need to change that mentality. For you to reach somewhere, you need someone to take you there. Someone like a Samuel, the kind of things he has done right now, the places he's traveled, it's something that the achievement he has made right now, it's something that will take us years.
But that's for him, not for...
That's for him,
For the youth
that's
movement.
Why, okay, and that's why I'm saying this. Right now, it's not about, you see, with politics, it's about self-interest. What do you want? Where do you want to be in years to come? Let me tell you, bro, no one is coming to save you. You have to fight for your space. You have to fight for yourself. The only problem we are having, it's poverty. Me, right now, I don't have any problem with Ruto. I don't have any problem with the so-called Kasamwe Kinamorara, where they are right now. They have achieved what they wanted.
For themselves, yeah?
Yeah, for themselves. Right now, let me tell you. Let no one tell you that at tuko pamoja, we are going to move this way.
Yeah.
We are, you know, at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, where you as an individual, where do you want to be?
Right,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, let's close it up. Maybe in 10 seconds, because it's already 9:03. The aspirations for UNGA and what you guys look forward to, you can just say it as a whole as we exit. This is your cameras, your parting shot.
We look forward to making leaders come 2027 who are youths. And in my conclusion, may the government do us preferential procurements. And the youths, let's not have big voice in the media and in the streets, but no action on the ground. Let's register as voters.
Okay.
Thank
Do you have a page that they can follow?
Of course, we have the UNGA page they can follow.
Yeah, mention it very fast.
United, on Facebook, you can get us as United New Generation Aspirants. Yeah, that's our Facebook page. And our number for WhatsApp, we have a WhatsApp group that has almost 700 young people. If you want to reach us on,
please say it very fast.
if you want to reach us on WhatsApp, this is our number 0728 666 894. Kindly
07
0728 666 894. You can join us, you can text us on WhatsApp and be part of us. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've been speaking to Boniface and Ouma Ndede. He's a chairperson at UNGA. You know what they're doing now by now. He's also an aspiring member of parliament in Karachuonyo constituency alongside Steve Giro. He's the founder of Azizi organization, Secretary General still at UNGA. Thank you so much for your invaluable insights and we wish you all the best. We can't wait to see UNGA become a political party. Right.
Okay.
All right, so let's do this. Let's take a very short break. When we come back next is an interesting conversation on why men are really moving on too fast whenever a lady is trying to get to their way and they're trying to make advances and, you know, woo them to become lovers. Why are men moving on too fast? There's also another statistic that says 18 to 25-year-old men have not actually asked a woman out for a date in person. What does it make? What actually is happening to the boy child out there? Jameni, muniambie tu at the comment section. In fact, that's our question of the day. We'll be sampling your feedback when we come back, and I'll be speaking to two interesting guests who will be actually giving more insight on that. So see you on the other side at Y254 channel, at Brian Sakon1 on the hashtag, which is why in the morning. See you on the other side in a bit.